An unmitigated disaster, and they could be out of playoff contention before Christmas. We know the Oilers are in huge trouble, and they've got to do something quickly before it's too late. But the question is what? To talk about that, here's Ryan Rishaug in Edmonton. Ryan, what's a fair expectation on Ken Holland right now?
Yeah, I think that's the right question to ask, Gino. What's the fair expectation? Because could he go out there and make a dumb deal? I mean, the Oilers are as desperate as it gets right now, and I'm sure there's 31 other GMs that see Ken Holland coming, and they're like, step into my office, Kenny. Time to wheel and deal, right? They have to do something. Could he fire a bunch of assets out the door in a desperate bid to bring in a goalie that maybe he'll be better? Yeah, I'm sure those deals are there for the taking, and I'm not advocating for that. But what I will submit to you, Gino, is Ken Holland can't do nothing. His team is dying on the vine. It's incumbent on him to do something. They have other needs. Find a way to address those, even if it's at the bottom of the lineup or the bottom of your D pairings. Put a new face in there that adds an element you need. Do something, because doing nothing can't be acceptable.
All right, so then what should he be out there looking for right now that he could realistically bring into this team?
So outside of the goaltender and the defenseman that we just discussed, I think there are a few glaring needs on this team. They have no Stanley Cup experience in there. Nobody who's sort of ridden these tough miles and had that experience of getting to the top of the mountain. That's what Duncan Keith was for them. He's not there. I think that's one thing that they could look to add. I think some more toughness and some more physicality. Make them gamers. They're too easily shoved out of games at times. They don't have enough guys that are willing to, make things ugly. Because when things aren't going well for you, sometimes scrapping it up a little bit isn't a bad thing, and they don't have enough guys that think or play that way. And I definitely think that a positive injection into the locker room can help too, Gino. There's a lot of pressure on this group. It's a heavy-feeling group right now, and bringing in a fresh face who's not afraid to joke around a little bit, yuck it up a little bit here and there, to me, that makes a little bit of sense. By the way, the guy that checks all three of those boxes, I have no idea if he's available or not, no idea, but Patrick Maroon could potentially check those boxes, Gino.
Okay, but if you're going to try to bring somebody in, you got to be willing to move some assets out. What are they putting out there that's available to move out?
Yeah, I think everything is going to be in play here. I mean, obviously outside of McDavid and Draisaitl, I think everything outside their first-round pick is probably on the table already. My sense is, their second-round picks, prospects, guys on the roster. I don't think there's anything Ken Holland is going to go completely hands-off, but I do think they'll be careful with their first-round pick this year, given where they are in the standings. Who knows which way this thing will go? You got to be careful about involving that pick in a momentary decision to try for a quick fix, and I don't blame them for that hesitation, Gino.
Okay, I don't want to poo-poo your Maroon idea, but this is an Oilers team that finished second in the Western Conference last year. Their D is basically middle of the pack back then, same bodies. Now they've got the second last goals against in the entire league. Are you telling me that Patrick Maroon, that no one is capable of teaching this group how to play better D, and the answer is bringing in somebody like Maroon? They've just got to play better D, Ryan.
Totally agree, Gino. I completely agree. And that's why what I'm saying is that it's not a fix-all. But for Ken Holland to try and find a fix-all right now out on the market, he's going to get taken to task. It'll be a terrible deal. I believe that. Unless they can pull a rabbit out of it, it's going to be hard to find that fix-all deal. So that doesn't mean you do nothing. You look at your team and you say, what else are you missing? What are the elements that might help? And that's why I bring up a guy like Patrick Maroon. Any one of those things, Gino, Stanley Cup experience, that would help this group. Positive presence in the locker room, good relationship with the core group, a guy that knows how to keep it light, even just that alone would help this group right now. And a guy that can take care of business on the ice, stand up for his teammates, keep you all physically engaged and drag some guys into the fight, that alone would help this group. All I'm saying is Patrick Maroon would be a guy that checks all of those boxes. Even if they go out there and find one guy that checks one of those boxes, it's going to be a helper. So, no, I agree with you, man. They have to be better internally. They have to defend better. It starts there, or none of this is going to matter.
All right, how about this? They've got Chris Knoblauch, who's an encourager, but no head coaching experience in the NHL. They got Paul Coffey, also no coaching experience in the NHL. Is it time that they can say, hey, we need to bring in some help here? Someone like a Jacques Martin or Bob Hartley who can step in and teach these guys how to play better defensively before it's too late.
I mean, Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think it's a fair point. When they hired Chris Knobloch and they removed Dave Manson, they didn't give Knobloch the opportunity to bring in his own person to take care of the defensive side of the puck. They installed Paul Coffey. Now, we'll give it a little bit of time here and see how Paul Coffey manages with this blue line, but you make a very fair point, Gino. They didn't
there is
install
no
somebody.
time.
I know. So what are you going to do? You're going to fire Paul Coffey now?
I'm not saying fire Paul Coffey,
hear
but
what you're
why not
saying.
bring in somebody who knows D at the NHL level that can say, I know what you guys are doing wrong. I've been watching what you're doing wrong. I got some ideas how to fix it. Listen to me, and maybe I can help you. I mean, is that such a crazy idea?
No, it's not. It's not. But the thing is, that ship kind of sailed, didn't it? It sailed when they gave Paul Coffey that job and didn't bring in Steve Smith or whoever Chris Knobloch might have chosen to come in and take care of the D. They installed their own guy. And so now it kind of is what it is. Now, I think the point you're making is, could they go out and find somebody else and add them to the staff? It's getting a little cozy behind the bench. There's not a ton of room back there. But I totally take your point, Gino. Like, a veteran person with experience who's been through the grind and has said, I remember back when this happened, I tried this, it didn't work. I tried this and it did. Who are the people that have run those hard miles that are bringing solutions to the table? I think it's a completely fair point. I think the ship has sailed on that opportunity. They missed it when they made the adjustments on their coaching staff.
I'm not giving up on this club, Ryan. I think between the two of us, we've got the solution. We bring in Maroon, a character guy who's won before, and we bring in an assistant or a special consultant advisor that can fix the D, and then everything is good in Oiler land once again.
I don't think either one of us accepted the other's idea. We got two ideas and neither of us agree, but that's the beauty of this, isn't it?
We sit back and watch this all unfold. Thanks, Ryan.